Welcome to Outlaw European Performance. For those of you that don't know, this is our shop located in Lincoln, Nebraska. We work specifically on BMWs. We also do some Mercedes, Porsche, and Audi. And we do performance modifications along with the general maintenance. So if you want to do a single turbo kit on an N54 or do an engine swap on an S85, that's what we do. And these are the Outlaw Euro E60 M5s. These have their own dedicated Instagram, E60 M5 Outlaws, whereas the business and all the other customer cars are on the Outlaw Euro Instagram. Same thing goes for YouTube. We have the E60 M5 Outlaws channel dedicated to these cars here. And then we have, an example would be this car, the F10 M5. We're gonna be doing methanol injection, taking it to the dyno, and doing custom tuning on it. This car is an example of what will be on the Outlaw Euro channel, along with DIYs for like M4s. We did C63, AMG, Pure 1000 Turbo install. Anything not S85 related. There will be some S85 stuff, like customers. We have several E63 M6s, thanks to you guys who send them from across the country for us to work on, which will likely be on both channels because it's S85 related, but it's also our business, where our whole business was people sending us their M cars and we fix them up and do performance stuff to them. That would be amazing. So there will be a little bit of overlap between the E60 M5 channel and the Outlaw Euro channel, but there will be some stuff like taking the E60 M5s here, like when we go to the track days, which will likely end up on the E60 M5 Outlaw YouTube channel, maybe not the Outlaw Euro one. So if you're into BMWs, definitely subscribe to both channels and check out the Instagrams. And there will also be some situations like where we took these two cars plus another one to the dyno, where the beginning of the videos will be the same, and then one will kind of branch off to focus on these cars, the other one will branch off to focus on the other car. But today we have a car reveal for the E60 M5 Outlaw channel and for the Outlaw Euro channel. The first one is right behind this door. This is 60 roll. It's a 2010 BMW 335i N54 powered car. It's also M Sport package with black interior that will be getting removed very soon. But the cool thing about it is what's under the hood. Doc Race single turbo kit with the Precision 6266 turbo. It also has some other modifications, like a transmission cooler, a little dress-up kit here, a couple catch cans we'll have to do something about. 60 roll is also on some BC coilovers. Definitely needs some work, but this is one of the first more performance-based BMWs we worked on when we started the shop. We've done quite a few things to this car since it came to our very first shop. When we first started, this was pretty much the first car we worked on. We put a new subframe in it. We've done all sorts of different suspension to it, lots of different engine drivability concerns, including all of this wiring here lit on fire during some roll racing. So we had to do a bunch of repairs on that wiring. Another fun fact is, under this car's previous ownership, it actually raced our first E60 M5, the Indianapolis red one. And yeah, when we found out that the car was gonna be for sale and the owner was getting rid of it, we kind of had to seize the opportunity and get a single turbo N54 car, because no offense, we probably wouldn't buy a stock version of this car and go this length, but because it's got the built motor in it, because it has the Doc Race kit, and because we've worked on it for a number of years now, we felt like we had to get it. Couldn't let it go to a different owner. We will be doing a lot of exterior modifications besides just fixing everything up. And do something about the marker lights, the mirror caps. There's a whole bunch of different bumper options for these cars. A little bit of body work that needs to be done. It's gonna be kind of hard to do something new with the E92 platform, especially in a 335, but I have no doubt that we will be making this into a pretty badass little unit here pretty quick. But currently the plan is 800 to the ground, bigger turbo, port injection. Who knows, maybe we'll get to the 800 horsepower mark and then decide we want to go further. Locally, there's some pretty serious roll racers around. I mean, Midwest Skylines has an R32. It's pushing 1300 horsepower right now, and he's about to put a bigger turbo on, so we could get to the 800 horsepower mark and just keep going and see what it can do. So it used to have 19-inch wheels. Previous owner went to a curb pretty hard, so now it's got these OEM wheels that are plasti dipped. This fender here is broken. I kind of got this headlight restored a little bit. They did both look like that. The front bumper used to be really nice fitment and everything, and now it's kind of barely hanging on. Gotta do something with the under the hood. Definitely got to clean up the engine bay. This vinyl wrapped roof has been on there for what looks like ever. That's gonna be fun to fix. And then the spoiler is also all faded. The rear bumper has a couple little dings in it. Definitely not perfect. Voila. The taillights are in really good shape though. So we got that going. Also gotta do something about the tint here. That's not gonna work. I believe it also has some footwell module issues because the glass doesn't go up and down when you open the door. So sometimes it gets caught there. It does have some oil leaks. It's got a coolant leak from this expansion tank, so probably gonna have to do the Turner kit since it's already relocated. Previously it was tuned by, I believe, Wedge Performance. We do already have it on an HTE Performance Tuning tune through MHD with single bank fueling. And we have taken it to the dyno. It does pretty good, but the main thing with this car, from taking these two to the Ice Cream Cruise roll racing, is we need a faster roll racing car. We prefer to have a BMW motor, obviously, not just a BMW with a LS in it. So yeah, what better one to start with than the N54, quote unquote 2JZ of Europe. And then the motor is built by Gasson. We won't discuss that further. We'll just leave it there. We have some pretty big plans for this car. Needs a few other things. We do have a bigger turbo for it already. We'll be doing a video on that. And also should probably mention, we have been doing some stuff since taking possession of the car, like adding single bank fueling. We've got videos of all that, so that'll be coming out here soon on the Outlaw Euro channel. This is gonna be kind of an exclusive Outlaw Euro car, and it will have its own Instagram. It'll be E92 Outlaws. Along with the bigger turbo, we will also be installing port injection, likely with the forward-facing intake. So we'll be having a complete series on this, of getting it to that 800 horsepower mark, along with doing the preventative maintenance and everything on it. So for those of you that are interested in N54s, single turbos, E9X platform, we now have a car that'll be on the channel for you. For the next car, we're gonna have to go for a little walk since we can't roll it into the shop quite yet. But before we go check that car out, should first go over this car briefly. This was a shell that we got. It was a part out car. It looked a lot like how it does now, without all the carbon on it and the nice headlights and all of that. We got it as a shell. It was a part out, kind of rescued it, put it all back together again, and the Queen was born. We took some pictures and we took some videos of it as we were doing that whole process. It was right when we started the shop. Didn't record a bunch of in-depth stuff about it. We took a bunch of parts from our first E60 M5, this Indianapolis red one, put the powertrain into this M5, and then took the bumpers and put it into that M5. Kind of got them both going that way. Which brings me to the next car. It's on the other side of the shop here. Brian working on an X5M. Yes, it is another E60 M5. This black sapphire metallic. This is a pre-LCI car. It's kind of hard to believe, but we did an oil change on it about a month ago. And then the guys decided they were going to part it out like they did with the Queen. And here we are. I'm sure a lot of you S85 owners know that in the S85 powered BMW game, there are a lot of part outs going on. Everybody thinks that these cars are worth more in pieces than they are as a whole, which I would strongly disagree with, especially if the part outs for something like a blown motor, which is a large majority of the value and the parts. And the SMGs for what, 1,500 bucks, rear diffs are like 350, the motors 5,000 to 7,500. This one's motor has 180,000 on it, but this one's got good bones. So the progress on this car should go somewhat quickly. It's gonna take a little bit of time. We're not trying to rush to get it done for SEMA or by any specific date. Main thing is doing it once and seizing all the opportunities we can with it while it's in this state. With the Queen, I wouldn't change anything with how we built that one, but there were a few opportunities I would have seized while it was in the same condition as this. Things like painting the engine bay, painting all of this, because though you can't see a lot of this part with the fenders on, it kind of overlaps on the inside and you can see that. We've got a few different ideas that we're thinking to do with this car, but first thing we need to do with it is get it so it rolls, get it off the jack stands, and get it so we can protect it. And due to this car, we'll be likely doing some S85 performance engine building here very shortly. We might do some rotating around with different parts on the three cars so that all three of them can be on the road. And since the frame on this one's so straight, I really don't want to make it into a race car. I prefer using the Outlaw M5, the satin black sapphire metallic E85 E60 M5 in there as a race car, and use this more like as a kind of like a Queen 2.0, you know, kind of like maybe do like a dream build on it and really just make the car unique. Since the Queen's more of an OEM plus sort of deal, I like to make this one more of a custom sort of deal, but not go too crazy with it. Things like Alcantara interior, maybe Alcantara dash, and things like that. Maybe make this one the stroker car, and have one of the other ones be a supercharged and the other one be stock displacement S85, and have this one be the stroker. There's just a lot of options on it. So like I said, first thing is we got to get it rolling so we can get it inside, get it cleaned up, things of that nature. Since the title of this obviously says revealing two cars, and I feel like this is kind of half of a car, we might as well include this car then too. This E60 M5 was our first E60 M5. Now, it's kind of hard to tell right now, but this car used to be really clean and really good looking. If you don't believe me, let me show you. See, it used to be really sick, but a Honda Pilot has kind of ended its existence at the moment. To get this E60 M5 back on the road would definitely require some Matt Armstrong-like rebuild video series. So Currently what its role is the motor and transmission out of it are in the Queen. The bumpers and the rear doors are in the Outlaw 5. And we'll likely be putting this one up on blocks and taking the subframe and suspension and everything out of it for this car. The goal for this car is to someday, hopefully soon, put the S85 back in it, get the frame and everything all fixed up, and maybe go really crazy with this one, kind of like a tube front and rear, so we can put the S85 in it, do maybe some twin turbo setup out of the hood, make it the world's fastest E60 M5 with like a standalone engine management system and everything crazy in it, roll cage, all that. Obviously that's down the road a little bit, so for now I just keep hanging on to it and we don't scrap it. It keeps coming up with good reasons to still be here, obviously, like getting this next black car going. So hopefully you guys like the additions to both channels, and follow Outlaw Euro for 60 roll there, and the E60 M5 Outlaw channel for the E60 M5s and the build series we're gonna be doing with those cars. Thank you for liking and subscribing. As always, thank you guys for watching.